am so excited. Today we are going to go stay at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs. I have never stayed the night. I have been there before but never stayed, and this is like a dream come true for me. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to go. We're going to go stop by Walmart and pick up just a few little snacks for the room, and yeah, hopefully go explore downtown. And we have reserved the hot tub for tonight for a little time slot, so I am so excited. I can't wait. I wonder if we're going to see anything spooky or anything paranormal, so fingers crossed we'll see something. But it's going to be about a 2.5-hour drive or so it's going to be a little bit of a drive, but I love drives, so it's going to be really fun, and I will share with you guys anything interesting I find on the way. We began our trip on a beautiful Friday afternoon as we drove through the Ozark Mountains to our destination, and I wanted to share just a bit of its rich history with you. The Crescent Hotel of Eureka Springs was a luxurious and opulent hotel resort for the rich and the famous, and it opened its doors on May 20th of 1886. The cost of constructing the hotel at the time was $294,000, which in today's money would be well north of $8.2 million. And the building was named the Crescent Hotel after the mountaintop upon which it resides, and it was nicknamed the Grand Old Lady of the Ozarks by many of her visitors. But the golden age of the Crescent was short-lived when it fell into disrepair and popularity faded during the winter months. It was reopened in 1908 as the Crescent College and Conservatory for Young Women for about 16 years until it closed its doors in 1924. As another brief stint, the hotel served as a junior college from 1930 to 1934, but due to the economic pressures of the Great Depression, the college was closed and it was thereafter leased as a summer hotel. It wasn't until 1937 when the Crescent had another revival, but this time as the infamous Baker's Cancer Curing Hospital, which was headed by Norman Baker, a quack businessman masquerading as a doctor who claimed he could cure cancer without surgery, with his cure formula number 5. His cure, though, was nothing more than a mixture of alcohol, glycerol, carbolic acid, ground watermelon seeds, corn silk, and clover leaves. It was administered by injection at the site of the cancer up to 7 times a day. The countless deaths of patients under his care were covered up as he defrauded families and patients of nearly $4 million today. And it wasn't until 1940 when Baker was arrested for mail fraud and sentenced to 4 years in prison, and then in 1946 the hotel was sold to a group of 4 Chicago businessmen. Unfortunately, in 1967, a fire attributed to bad wiring claimed the penthouse level of the hotel and most of the 4th floor. And then over the next several decades, the hotel passed through several hands as repairs and more restorations were made, but the hotel was never fully restored to its original grandeur. That is until 1997 when Marty and Elise Roenick purchased the business, and they initiated a series of renovations that brought the building back to its former glory. The couple proudly relaunched the location as the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa, and among the new facilities added onto the hotel during their tenure as owners included the New Moon Spa, a conservatory, and 35 new luxurious guest rooms. And the renovations totaled to $5 million that restored the hotel to what we know today as the Crescent Hotel. So now that you know the brief history of the Crescent, I will share with you a few clips from the rest of our trip. One of the most charming things about Eureka Springs is the quaintness of the town. The streets are narrow and winding and downright steep in some places, but the beauty of this town is one that is very near and dear to me, and we had a bit of time to kill before check-in, so we drove around the historic loop and admired all the beautiful bed and breakfasts in the area. The stunning Victorian architecture reminds me of doll houses, and it just makes me squeal with excitement. You can even find a few spring locations throughout the city, like one right here. Eureka is beautiful, but it is also a little funky too, which always keeps you on your toes because you never know when you're going to drive past a psychedelic hippie bus or a larger-than-life Humpty Dumpty. After a scenic drive around Eureka, we finally arrived at the Crescent for check-in, and the presence of the hotel is just so overwhelmingly beautiful. So we headed inside to collect our keys for our room number 323. After settling in a bit, we explored the beautiful lobby. This is the conservatory and the main staircase of the hotel. Downstairs leads to the New Moon Spa and Salon. Next to the stairs is the antique elevator. And directly across from there is the hotel gift shop, which I sadly did not get to visit. And the beautiful white brick fireplace. There is an orchestrion that was previously owned by Walt Disney World, and across the way is a huge pipe organ. And the hotel has a very rich history of some ghostly sightings that I will talk more about in a bit. But ghosts are not the only thing that is said to reside in the Crescent Hotel. Over the years, there have been many feline friends that have called the Crescent Hotel their home, including a few named Tittles, Spook, Frisco and Shadow, Rufus, and Casper and Jasper, but most famously one named Morris, an orange tabby. Morris is definitely one of the more famous cats that has lived at the Crescent Hotel, so much that there is a picture and a poem dedicated to him in the lobby of the hotel. The resident cat at the Crescent Hotel filled his position exceedingly well. The general manager title he wore was printed right there on his own office door. He acted as greeter and sometimes as guide. Whatever his duties, he did them with pride. He chose his own hours, and he set his own pace. The guests were impressed with his manners and grace. Upstairs and down, he kept everything nice. They might have had ghosts, but they never had mice. Due to the fact he was growing quite old, he dozed by the fire when the weather was cold. His years were a dignified 21, when at last he retired and his 9 lives were done. He filled his position exceedingly well, the resident cat at the Crescent Hotel. And Morris was very much loved by all of the community, so much that when he passed after 21 years, there were more than 300 people that attended his ceremony after his death. His headstone can even be found on the east lawn of the Crescent Hotel, where his memory will always be remembered. But one of the sweet kitties that lives there today is named Jasper, and he is a big black long-haired cat, and he has white paws and white chest. He's described as to love hiding under baggage carts, swatting at passenger shoelaces, but he likes to stay out of sight. And one thing I can personally attest to, he definitely loves curling up and falling asleep right there in the lobby. While Morris is arguably the most famous cat at the hotel, Jasper is not to be outdone, as he has his own portrait as well in the hotel. And Jasper is free to come and go as he pleases, as he has his very own exit door. Then we decided to check out the lawn with the beautiful CH hedges and a large patio. We made our way to the heated pool, which unfortunately due to the rain we didn't get to enjoy, but our room had a great view of the pool. And there's also an activity area on the back lawn, including giant chess, Connect 4, and axe throwing. Then we explored the petite but beautiful St. Elizabeth of Hungary Catholic Church right behind the hotel. The garden was so beautiful and serene, and my boyfriend even got this really great picture of me. We went inside the church, but unfortunately my phone ran out of storage at this exact moment, so I had to settle for just a few pictures. But it's absolutely beautiful in there, and you must visit it if you ever have the chance. After a quick exploration of the hotel and the grounds, we decided to head up to our room. I didn't notice this until I was editing this video, but I noticed something weird in this clip. Watch this clip and let me know if you see anything weird too. Didn't see it? I'll play the clip again. How about one more time, slowed down? Okay, to be completely honest, I am a bit of a skeptic, and I do have to think the most logical explanation is that this looks more like a reflection off of the elevator and not necessarily an orb, but I did want to point that out just because I know a lot of people happen to see things like orbs, but who knows? And there were a couple other things that happened on this trip that I thought I would mention as well. At a later time, another weird occurrence happened in this same hallway on the 3rd floor. But this time, it was a video my boyfriend took. So tell me if you see anything weird in his video. We noticed another orb-like object moving around erratically near the floor. Again, the skeptic in me thinks it's just a reflection, possibly off the ceiling fan light, but tell me, what do you think? Orb or a glare of light? After stopping several times to admire the beauty of the old staircases, we finally wandered down the halls to find our room, number 323. Our room was one of these standard rooms, and it was the perfect size for just the two of us. The large king bed was incredibly comfortable, and the bathroom was perfectly designed to match the Victorian style of the hotel. The tile flooring absolutely stole my heart. And as mentioned earlier, we had a view of the pool from our room. And we also had a large flat screen TV that was great to watch movies on. The room was so comfy and cozy and absolutely perfect for us. And of course, the best things have to happen when the camera's not recording. My boyfriend and I were laying on the bed. He was on the right side and I was on the left with my head at the foot of the bed. We were just talking about how cool the hotel was when we both heard a dull sliding sound. And this was my reaction right after. Mom, this drawer literally just opened by itself, and look what's in it. The Holy Bible. Literally just laying right here on the bed, and it opened. So my boyfriend checked out the drawer right after it happened, and we kind of noticed you had to put significant force to kind of get the drawer to open. It didn't really seem like one that would just slide open on its own, so that was definitely a very weird experience, and I really don't have any explanation for that. After that little bit of excitement, we decided to check out downtown and do a little shopping. And a tip for guests of the Crescent and the Basin Hotel, you can get shuttled back and forth between the hotels, so you don't have to worry about paying for parking if you want to go downtown. And when you're ready to come back, you can just go to the Basin Hotel and let them know that you're staying at the Crescent, and they will shuttle you back to the hotel. We took advantage of this service, and it was so great and very convenient. And one of the must-see spots downtown is the Painted Steps, a mural that was painted by Doug Meyerskow, based off of art submitted by Kyla Boardman and Kennedy Cash of Eureka Springs High School, as part of the 2015 UP project. We did a bit of shopping as we explored a bunch of neat stores, including antique stores with some amazing stained glass doors that I was nearly drooling over. A vintage toy store that had all kinds of toys from the past, including some expensive Star Wars action figures. A few good-humored candy stores, and a candle store with some very colorful names. Here is a little mini haul of some of the gifts that I picked out. From Eureka Nut House, I got a giant unicorn Rice Krispie, a Thompson Farm Garden Fire dip mix, and a bag of strawberry cheesecake candy almonds, which were amazing, by the way. Then from Sugar and Spite, I got some Japanese mochi candy, and don't judge me, but a bag of giant gummy bears. And then from Soap Stop, I bought an exfoliating mesh soap bag, a unicorn poop bath bomb, bar of tobacco vanilla soap, and a bar of Dixie Light soap. After shopping, we were hungry and decided to have dinner on the 4th floor at the Sky Bar Gourmet Pizza Lounge. We sat outside on the terrace, which was so cool, and the weather was a little bit rainy, but it actually made the atmosphere that much cooler. The terrace overlooks the backside of the hotel, and off in the distance you can spot the crest of the Ozarks statue on Magnetic Mountain. We enjoyed a flight of beers that my boyfriend insisted was just too good of a deal to pass up, and a delicious smoky barbecue chicken pizza that was absolutely amazing. And the best part of all, dinner was covered thanks to the gift card we received upon check-in. After a wonderful dinner, we went back to our room and relaxed for a bit, and lucky for us, the position of our room gave us the prime spot for eavesdropping in on the numerous ghost tours that were going on.
He would inject his patients with this up to 7 times a day, and also did not take any pain medicine. Probably because he wasn't actually a doctor and could not really get a hold of it. Now, once these patients would get too loud with others screaming of pain, he would transfer them on down to the asylum behind soundproof doors.
Oh yeah, that's right, it was an asylum.
Now, of course, the patients would ask, what's behind these doors? I'm paying a lot of money to be here. What's behind them? He would tell them, well, anybody can get this shot, but it's not going to do any good if your mind is not in the right state to kill the body.
This one was not like
So he was treated
lady,
like a
the
school
other
mom.
lady was like,
When what he was really doing was putting all the blame for these patients not getting
telling you what was going on. This one has like red
Now we have to wait about 3 in the morning to have the bodies transferred down to the morgue. Remember, he's 100% successful, and there is no way to get down to the morgue from over here. The only way to get those bodies down to the morgue would be to push them down this hallway in front of all these patients to the elevator, so they could then get the bodies down to the morgue. Now, we have had reports from some of our guests being woken up at about 3:30 in the morning. So it sounds like squeaky wheels on the hardwood floor. Now, as you can see, we are completely carpeted, but back then, no one thought of carpeting. He felt that hardwood floor is a lot more professional. But once he stepped out of the room to see what this noise is, the report seen what looks like a woman in an old-fashioned white nurse's uniform, pushing a covered burden with what looks to have a body on it, down the hallway, to the elevator, where she vanishes. We believe she looks a little something like this. A lot of my guests want to call her So they do, of course, try to get her attention. Whether he brought her to her the dark, laying their hands in front of her face, screaming out now. But she doesn't know what to do and refuses to go. And what this is she kept thinking she was watching the life over and over again. Almost like what she was doing was so traumatic that it imprinted itself on this part of the building. And she will never actually see what's happening to her. Now, what do you guys believe? These rooms are down here today. Honeymoon suites with jacuzzi. How romantic, right? Now, our general manager and his wife at the time, Missy, actually stayed in one of these rooms for their honeymoon. Missy wakes up in the middle of the night to find that there's a woman in a white gown standing at the foot of her bed, staring at her for a while. She, of course, freaks out, wakes him up, and says there's somebody in there. He gets up, looks everywhere, sees nothing, and tells her there's nobody here, it's fine. Go back to sleep, we'll talk about this more in the morning. But she wasn't having it, she was too freaked out. It happens again. So they end up leaving that night. Not long after this, we had another honeymoon couple stay in this room. Now, the wife was fashioning off some new lingerie she bought just for the occasion. The husband's taking pictures with his old Kodak camera, the kind you get a picture developed. And after they're staying here, they get those pictures developed and find something quite interesting in one of these photos. Now, the photo I'm about to show you, we have the wife completely read it out so you can't see how fabulous she looks. But I want you guys to take close look at the reflection of the TV. You'll see a woman in a white gown. This is why we tell you don't delete pictures because you get them up on a bigger screen. And I know that's kind of hard to see, so we blew it up for you guys. I'm putting it right side up. Now, thankfully, this couple wasn't living too far away when they found this photo, because they rushed it right back here to the hotel so they could show us. And then we show it to Missy, and she screams saying, "That's who I saw." She was so happy and excited there was now proof of something big in that room, and she wanted it crazy. All right, we are going to go ahead and continue on down these stairs here. I'm going to talk about that little boy I'm talking about.
Well, you definitely don't have to pay for a ghost tour if you're in this room. You get it for free. The next morning, we awoke after a good night of rest, and we went downstairs to have breakfast in the Crystal dining room. We enjoyed a table for two right next to the window of the back lawn. And the breakfast of champions, of course, a mimosa, and I enjoyed the white chocolate chip pancakes, which were just as good as you would expect. And shortly after breakfast, we packed up our belongings and checked out. And I have to say, the service was absolutely amazing and the staff was so warm and welcoming. And if you ever have a chance to stay at the Crescent Hotel, I would absolutely recommend it. Okay, so we had a wonderful time in Eureka Springs. We had just stopped at the visitor center to use the restroom, did a whole bunch of shopping. I even bought a little rollerball perfume to commemorate my trip. Just that way I'll always smell this and remember this trip, and it was so much fun. I have to say that the service at the Crescent Hotel was just absolutely amazing. And luckily the weather cooperated pretty decently with it being a bit rainy, but overall it was a wonderful trip. Next time I really went to stay at the Basin Hotel. That one is right downtown, right in the middle of everything, so that one just seems like it'd be a really cool place to stay. And yeah, I am just completely so excited. I had a wonderful time. The food was amazing. Everything we ate at the actual Crescent Hotel, and everything was so amazing. Definitely would recommend and have it again. And I would totally recommend you guys checking out the Crescent Hotel or Eureka Springs if you're ever in the area. It is such an amazingly unique area. It's so cool.